welcome you all in this educational video for NIOS. In this live program, we will be doing subject political science for senior secondary level in Indian Sign Language medium. We will be doing lesson number 10. Name of the lesson is Union Executive. This video is part 1. Let us begin with the difficult words from this lesson. After these words, we will begin the lesson. You can see the image. It is parliamentary form of government. Now you can see this image, democracy. Republic. Executive. Legislature. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. These are the two houses of our Indian Parliament, Indian government. Judiciary. Impeachment. Count. Candidate. No confidence motion. Cabinet. Now we have covered the words. Now from here we will begin the lesson. These are the topics which we will be covering. So we will begin with the difference between the nominal and the real executives. So we will understand the basic difference between the two. India is a republic with an elected head of state. We will understand this point in detail. Also, we will understand the qualification and methods of election of president. Powers of the President. So we will begin with this topic, the President. We are all aware that President of India is the nominal head of the state. And the president is indirectly elected. There is a specific procedure which is followed for the election of president. And in case a person is selected as a president, then that person cannot be at the same time a member of the parliament or of the state legislature. Let us now understand the qualifications of the president. The first and the foremost important qualification is the person should be a citizen of India. And the age, the person should have completed the age of 35 years. Also, the person should be qualified to be elected as a member of Lok Sabha. The president should not hold any office of profit, that is, the candidate should not be a government servant. Let us now understand the election procedure, how president is elected. The president is elected by an electoral college. This electoral college consists of the elected members of both the houses of the parliament. We already know that parliament has two houses, one is Lok Sabha and the other is Rajya Sabha, and of the state legislative assembly. So how the procedure happens and moves forward? The nominated members of the parliament and the members of state legislative councils, they are not the members of the electoral college. So this is something important which we should remember. and there is a specific procedure of election which is held by the means of a single transferable vote system of proportional representation. We call it as TVS. We will understand this in detail in further slides. And also the election procedure, the voting is done by the secret ballot, means whoever selects whom, that all is kept confidential. Now let us understand the value of vote. The value of vote of each member of legislative assembly of a state is determined by the formula, as you can see on screen. This formula helps you count the number of votes. So using this formula, we calculate the total value of vote of any state. So for this we need to have total population of the state divided by the number of elected members of state legislative assembly, and that complete divided by 1000. Let us understand this with the help of an example. For example, let us suppose that population of Punjab is 1,35,51,000, around 60. You can see that on screen. And the number of state Vidhan Sabha is 104. So according to that formula, it will be this figure which you can see on screen. That whole amount in fraction needs to be divided by 1000, which comes out to be 130.29. So if I am a member of the Lok Sabha and I am from Chandigarh, then my vote count would be 130 per person. So this 130, as the remainder is 0.29, is less than 50%, so that means it would be ignored, because it should be more than 50%. The number which is below 50 is rejected. We will take a break here.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो,
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मैं
अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने,
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर।
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बहुत
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम अपना जीवन स्वयं बने हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने
Let us continue after the break. Before the break, we were talking about the value of vote. So, in the member of parliament, the value of vote for each member is according to this formula, which you can see on screen. So, for all the states, this formula is used for counting the value of vote. Total number of votes of members of all the state legislative assembly divided by total number of elected members of both the houses of parliament. Let us understand this with the help of an example. The votes of all the state legislative assemblies are first added. For example, it is about, let us suppose the total number of votes of all the legislature is approximately 5,44,971. Then next, what do? The total number of elected members of parliament is 776. So then the number of votes of each member of parliament would be 5,44,971 divided by 771. You can easily see and understand this. The answer comes out to be 702.28. As we understood in the previous example, if it is more than 50, then it would be accepted, and if it is less than 50, it would be ignored. So at both the stages, if the remainder is less than 50% of the divides, we know that it would be ignored. But when the remainder is 50% or more, then one vote is added to the quotient. So now let us understand this single transferable vote system. It is very important as the election of the president is held through this system. And under this system, names of all the candidates are listed on the ballot paper, and the elector gives them numbers according to his or her preference. The ballot becomes invalid if first preference is marked against more than one candidate, or if first preference is not marked at all. Counting of votes and declaration of the result. When members of state legislative assemblies cast their votes in state capitals, it is done for all the states. And members of parliament when they cast their votes in Delhi. And next is counting of votes is done in New Delhi. So the first preference votes of all the candidates are sorted out and counted. To be elected, a candidate must get more than 50% of the total valid votes polled. This is known as quota. This word you can see in the red color. We will explain and understand this in further slides. We will be able to understand this word. If it is less than 50%, then it is ignored, and if it is more than 50%, then this is known as quota. The quota totaling the total number of votes polled divided by the number of candidates to be elected plus 1. So we can say that this is the formula used for finding the quota. And in this case, since only the president is to be elected, so the division is done by 1 plus 1. One is added to the quotient to make it more than 50%. Let us understand it further. At the first count, only first preference votes are counted. And after this first preference votes are counted, if any of the candidate reaches the quote, then he or she is declared elected. And in case there is no one or no candidate reaches the quota, that means more than 50%, then the second preference votes of the candidate getting the least number of first preference votes, they are all transferred to the other candidates. And after this transfer, thus the candidate getting the least number of votes is eliminated. Let us understand this again with the help of an example so that it will be clear. Let us understand it with the following example. Supposing the total number of valid vote is 200 and there are 4 candidates who has applied. Let's their name be A, B, C and D. Let's assume these names as A, B, C, D. And the quota in this case will be 200 divided by 1 plus 1. And when we divide this, then the answer also would be added with 1. So the answer which comes out to be 101 in this case Let us understand it further. As we had assumed that we have 4 candidates for the presidentship, and the vote count is there on screen for A, B, C and D. For candidate A we have 90 votes, for candidate B we have 45 votes, for candidate C we have 30 votes, and for candidate D we have 35 votes. Now according to the rule, you know that the total quota should be more than 101, more than 50%. So that is why what we will do, because all these votes are less, so in this case the C has lesser count, it would be eliminated. Now because this is eliminated, so now D will come in the 3rd position, and the vote also would be transferred to the next. And when their votes are transferred to the remaining candidates according to the voters' next preference. So now again the same process will begin, and further let us say that now there are one elimination is done, and now we have 3 candidates. There are 30 voters who ranked candidate C first, and of those 30 voters, let us suppose 15 of them ranked and candidate A as the second choice, and 10 of them ranked candidate B as their third choice. 5 of them ranked candidate D as their fourth choice. So now you can have a look at this image. Now these votes, when after transferred to the next, so candidate A has now 90 plus 15, it is 105. Then candidate B has 45 plus 10, now it becomes 55. Candidate D has now 35 plus 5, so it becomes 40. So since A reaches quota as he declared elected as the president, so A has the highest number of votes. So according to the vote transfer system, this is the process which is being followed for the election of the president. Break here.
करने राहों को आलोकित करने,
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम
अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने हम, अपना दीपक स्वयं बने हम, अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर।
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर। दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात,
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम, अपना दीपक स्वयं बने हम, अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम, स्वयं बने हम,
Let us continue after the break. Before the break, we were understanding and talking about the vote transfer system. I hope you all understood that well. Now let us understand how the tenure of president is and how they can be removed. Is there any procedure? So all this we will be talking in this part. The president is elected for the term of 5 years. And the president is eligible for re-election through a convention which has developed that no president seeks election for the 3rd term. So 2 times the president can be elected, but 3rd time is not allowed. And his term of office commences from the date he takes the oath of office. So that is the time which is counted. Let us now understand the privileges and immunities of the president. The president is not answerable to any court of law for the exercise of his functions. And the president can neither be arrested nor any criminal proceedings be instituted against him in any court of law during his tenure. Also, the president cannot be asked to be present in any court of law during his tenure. And a prior notice of 2 months' time is to be served before instituting any civil case against him. Let us now understand is there any procedure of removal of president? The president can only be removed from office through a process called impeachment. This word you can see with the red color. Impeachment is the only process through which a president can be removed. He can only be impeached for violation of the Constitution. So the only reason could be the violation of the Constitution. The resolution to impeach the president can be moved in either House of Parliament The charges leveled against the president are investigated by the second house. Removal of president. Resolution can be moved only after a notice has been given by at least 1/4 of the total number of members of the House. The resolution charging the president must be passed by majority of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of that house before it goes to the other house for investigation. President has the right to be heard or defended when the charges against him are investigated. The president may defend himself in person or through his counsel. If the charges are accepted by a 2/3 majority of the total membership of the second house, the impeachment succeeds. whenever the office of the president falls vacant due to death or resignation or any other reason like impeachment, the vice president officiates for a period of not more than 6 months. And the Constitution has made it obligatory that in such cases, election for new president must be held within 6 months. And in case if the president's office falls vacant due to any reason and the vice president is not available, the Chief Justice of India is required to officiate till the new president is elected. So this is something important which we should be aware about the president's election and selection. So far we have understood the lesson Union Executive, and also we understood important points about the president. Thank you.